are solely those of the hosts and guests. All individuals mentioned are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Hey everybody, welcome to Moms for Justice. How are you? I'm Carolyn and this is my co-host Jocelyn. How are you guys doing? How are you, honey?
Good evening. Doing good.
We're a little late tonight. Sorry about that.
No biggie.
We're
4 minutes late.
4 minutes late. I was rushing home and I was at church. So we were rushing home to get here on time. But anyway, so we got a lot to cover.
School.
You were at school. I know. You've been at school. And you've been very, very
Yes.
busy this week, right?
Yes. And I think I got a 98 on my quiz. I'm like, yes.
Yay, girl.
Yay.
Woohoo! Wait. Hold on.
Oh.
Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so we're going to get started tonight. We are talking about Karmelo Anthony. That is like the biggest story right now. Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf, which is the track meet stabbing that happened. I'll go through I'll give you dates and everything, but it was like last week. But the headline today on the New York Post is Karmelo Anthony is renting a $900,000 home in a gated community with his family and bought a brand new car after his release on bond. Not a very compelling case for him when you've got people that are on your side and they are raising money for you and you take it and report allegedly, I'm saying this, it is in the news. The Sun is reporting this. The New York Post is reporting this, but there are a lot of other news outlets out there that are saying that it's possibly a rumor still. However, it is out there, and I'm showing it to you to prove it to you. So
you're saying that this money, you're claiming that the money that was raised for his defense is now being used on items.
That is what the assumption is. Yes.
Is this the GoFundMe page? Is it a GoFundMe page?
It's over 400, and no, it's not GoFundMe. It's Give Something. It's not a GoFundMe.
Okay. So it's kind of like okay.
Yeah, he originally had a GoFundMe, but then they took it down. That got taken down. And apparently and I'll go through all this here. He hasn't been able to collect on that yet, but he's getting gifts. Like things are coming to the house in truckloads. Okay.
Wow.
So, but it doesn't make him look very good. It really doesn't. I mean, people are raising money for your defense and then you go and it's all out there that you're going to go buy a new car. And now, okay, but there is some facts to the point. I put down all the facts here, but the father did say to the judge that we need, obviously cannot afford a $1 million bond on his son, and we need it lowered, but we also need money because we need a bigger home and a new home because we fear for our child's life. And on top of that, they're saying that they need to hire security. So they need money for security. Okay.
I kind of understand the security thing. If that should be true, I don't know. But if anything, I don't know why you need a bigger home. But security, I mean, I would give it to him.
Yeah. I'm so torn on this, and in the beginning, everybody's going crazy about this case. There is so much rumor mill, and I'm almost starting to feel bad about me, what I said about the case last week, because you know what? At that point, we really didn't know everything. Nobody really knows until the trial happens, right? And there's just all this information just spitting out from like all different angles, and it's disturbing. I mean, it's a classic case of like when a black teen and a white teen are, clashing under a rain-soaked tent at their school.
Right.
And America is picking sides with their wallet, with money. I mean, first, Austin Metcalf's has a GoFundMe page go up, and that's raised $350,000, something like that. And now the killer, the admitted killer, now have $430,000 more than the victim. I mean, I've never heard of that.
More? Oh, that's right, because you're saying it. Not,
yes,
so
no,
he has,
that is a fact. 430. Oh, he's like at $436,000 as of like 5:00 today. And
but not 436 over 300 and over Austin's balance. You're just saying in total he has 400, right?
Okay, what I'm saying is that Karmelo, the stabber, has had $430,000+ raised for him, and that is more than what Austin Metcalf has, which is like $350,000.
Right. Okay.
I've never seen anything like that before, ever. Like, and I follow tons of true crime, and I've never heard that the stabber, the actual, the defendant, has gotten more money raised for him than the victim. It's just crazy.
It's interesting. So what's circulating? What is there like a huge defense for him?
It's a race war. It is. It's literally black versus white. I hate saying that, but that is what's going on in our culture today. Everything is turning to race. Black Lives Matter. People are just flipping out over the fact that they're just want to, like, they don't even care about the facts. Some of them, they're just like, Now, again, let me just say, we have to wait until all the information comes out. One thing that bothers me about this case is that there is video footage. Okay, so I have here that there's body cam footage. There is, hold on. There's, we've got, here we go.
Interesting that there's cam footage from, go ahead.
There is. So there's Frisco, Texas PD seized 3 bystander phone videos that capture the fight from different angles. The affidavits say that 2 of them show Anthony approaching the memorial tent, and a third records the one stabbing, the single stab that he gave him. The Kai Kendall Stadium's overhead security camera also recorded the confrontation, and officers synced its time code to witnesses' phones to build a second-by-second timeline. And then a body-worn camera footage begins 1 minute after the stabbing when they finally, they approach him, and then he says, "I did it," and all that. So one of the biggest questions I've heard is, well, if there's video footage out there, why isn't the family of Karmelo saying, let's see the video, show that video? Why aren't they campaigning to get this video footage out there if they know so for sure that their son was bullied and that he was acting in self-defense and everything? The family has said zippo about that.
Well, I'm sure that also has to do with their lawyer. I'm sure the lawyer said, zip it.
I looked it up to try to find out why, and honestly, just to like quiet people up that are asking that question, it all has to do with the fact that they're minors. Okay, so here's what it says. Because both the suspect and victim are 17, Texas treats the matter under juvenile privacy rules. Police may not release images or footage that identify a minor in a criminal investigation before the trial. So that shuts that whole thing down. Now, I was watching Tim Pool just yesterday, and Tim Pool was asking this very question. And I agree that is a question that I would want, I mean, look, they can't show the footage, but why isn't the family saying, show the footage? They should at least be saying it if they're that sure that their son is innocent,
Right.
Another thing I wanted to do about this case is I wanted to just focus on what we do know is a fact. Because, like, again, there's this, he's renting in a gated community. Okay, $900,000.
Wait a minute, back up. Why is he renting this home? Is it closer to court or something? I don't understand. Or did he rent this before all this went down?
I only know
rented-
that he's moved
Oh.
into a rented 900K home as per certain media outlets. I don't have any more info than that.
Okay.
And then there's several news media saying he's buying a car. I've heard that
Okay.
there's Amazon trucks pulling up, that there are people dropping truckloads of gifts off. Maybe the car is a gift. I don't know.
Okay.
So
Maybe
anyway,
the house is a gift.
right? Here, live here for free. I own this house. I'm not staying in it. 900,000. Who's not living in a $900,000 house, right?
Well, I'm sure a bunch of wealthy people in the area. Where is this taken? Oh, in Texas, you said. Okay.
It's Frisco, Texas is where the meet was at, but some of the news sources will say that he was booked out of McKinney, Texas. I know that area well, actually. I've been over there. I don't never live there, but I know the area well. Okay, so I wanted to focus on just what we know, okay? Because a lot of things are rumor. So,
Okay.
one, we know that it happened on April 2nd. Single knife wound to the chest. Suspect, obviously, he's 17. He has no record. Okay. Originally, it was being thrown around there that he's been involved in crime. And for the purposes of acknowledging these rumors, I just want to say there are rumors about him being suspended from school in the past.
Okay.
There are rumors that might be true, but they're rumors right now that he has brought knives to school before. And there are rumors that on the morning of the meet, he had texted a friend saying, I want to stab somebody today. Okay. But then there are rumors that he had a 3.8 grade point average. Some people say he didn't, that he only had a 1 point something. And then when you added all 4 years up, that it actually came to 3.8. I'm not kidding. He had I forgot what it was. I can't do math well, so you guys can do the math. But he had a 1 point something each year. And then when you added them all up, they're like, well, the dad must be really stupid because when you add those all up, it comes to 3.8. But anyway, that is, again, a rumor.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
And then
It's a
they're
weird
saying,
one to go around, Yeah.
Yeah, well, everyone is like, it's a war. It's a war. This case is another George Floyd. Okay.
Right.
I don't know, but I don't think he's going to get off. I don't. He stabbed a person. He killed somebody. And you have to prove that the other person was presenting something to you where you felt in fear for your life. And how many times in high schools are kids like, hey, move to another seat? That is not enough reason to stab and kill somebody. It's just not.
I agree.
Okay.
Well, I'm wondering if they're using this money towards a really good defense lawyer. Do we know who his defense lawyer is?
Well, the 430. Okay, wait, hold on. So
You're getting there. Sorry. Okay.
yeah, no, I'm getting there. So it was a Christian site that raised well over 430,000, and Metcalf fundraiser is about 350,000. We know that. Okay, hold on. Let me just go through this. Gosh.
And
What?
Austin's family, have they been vocal in the news saying show that footage?
Not lately. I haven't heard much about them. All I'm hearing about is this guy. And people are fighting. Fighting on Facebook, fighting on TikTok, and it's all black against white. And somebody died here. Okay. And let's wait. If your guy, I don't even want to say your guy, because it's he's our guy too. He's a child. He's 17. So is Austin. They're two kids. It's sad all around. It's a tragedy all around. Parents are devastated on both sides. We won't know until it comes out what the truth is. But they have been quiet. Last week they were kind of vocal, and this week they're not. And maybe that's just because it's getting completely flooded with Karmelo Anthony information. So the father says that he has not been able to access that money, that no one's accessed that money. House arrest at home since he was let go, at a lower bond. Okay.
Right.
They lowered the bond to $250,000 and put on the house arrest. He must stay home in Richwoods, which is gated. It's a Richwoods gated community in Frisco, Texas. 900
maybe that's why they moved. Maybe that's why they moved, because they needed a gated community, so it would help with security.
Yeah, but but
so you didn't actually have to pay.
Say, what do you need a $900,000 house for? $900,000. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So,
well, Frisco is a richier town in Texas, so
it is.
It's probably one of the lower houses. That's
like upper, like not average, no, but it's not the richest either, but it's up there. Okay. So, social media rumors also say that Metcalf was a white supremacist and Anthony is a gang member. Again, none of this stuff has been verified, really. Right. His family and Judge Tucker both received death threats framed in racial terms, prompting heightened courthouse security. Again, that could be them fueling the fire to try to help Karmelo Anthony. Jeff Metcalf, in rebuttal, quotes, "This is not a black and white issue," and asks all activists to stop politicizing his son's death. I don't blame him. I don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Black-oriented outlets like BET emphasize parallels with cases such as Kyle Rittenhouse, highlighting historic disparities in how black juveniles are perceived. And then the conservative sites like Breitbart amplified the unverified house and car story, stoking outrage about donor money. Again, none of this is confirmed. So,
right.
No evidence supports rumors that Metcalf belonged to a hate group or that Anthony was jumped by multiple people. Both are circulating and very unverified. So,
yeah, the trial has to come out. I mean, at this point, there's so many things coming from all different directions.
Yeah, and it's just sad
because
there's a loss of life, and technically, kind of a loss of life for Anthony too. I mean, it's not the same. I'm not saying it's the same, but I mean, his parents might never be able to, hug their son again either, same picture of him coming out of the courthouse. So
that's if he gets convicted.
I know.
Even if he does get convicted, there's, it could be less time,
Yeah. So everybody hit that sub button for us. We do appreciate it. Likes and, hearts, and give us comments below on what you think about what we discussed. And yeah. So, okay. So our next case, I'm following this one pretty diligently, and I made this cool thing, but anyway, yeah, I made this cool song about her the other day and I put it up as a YouTube short. My little demon monster. What? No, I'm not going to put it on. No. Our viewers can go and go to our shorts. It's on there. It's worth it. It's Lori Vallow Daybell.
Okay.
The song is called Lori Vallow Daybell. It's her song. Yeah. But anyway, a lot going on with her. No, in all seriousness, go check out the song. It's really good. I put a lot of time and effort into it. I would appreciate it. That would be cool.
Okay.
Here are our victims. We discussed them at the last one. Let me show you. So we got JJ Vallow, Tylee Ryan, and Tammy Daybell. Anyway, did you guys see the demon picture or no? Did I not have it up? Okay, demon picture, Lori Vallow Daybell.
Oh my goodness, that's demon.
Pretty demon, but the song is so good. Hey, listen to the words. It's only 30 seconds. You guys can handle it.
Yeah. I'll go on.
I know. Anyway, so the big news the other day was Nancy Joe. She was the witness that was questioned by the prosecution. Prosecution brought her on board. And if everybody knows, if anybody doesn't know, Lori Daybell.
Refresh us. Yeah.
Yeah, Lori Vallow Daybell. She was convicted already of murdering her 2 children, and they were buried in the backyard of her 5th husband, Chad Daybell's home. Okay. And then also she's now on trial for killing her 4th husband, Charles Vallow, along with her brother, Alex. Okay. Mm-hmm. Alex Cox. So anyway, this is what she's on trial for. And the thing is, she's representing herself. And a very rare thing to do, to represent yourself.
So who is this lady?
So this is Nancy Joe. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Nancy Joe. So on April 19th and 10th, this was a big thing. We were watching this on TV just the other day. Nancy Joe Hancock was Charles, the dead man, her fourth husband, Charles Vallow's date the night before his death. Okay, so he went on a date with her, and they met through like an LDS Mormon dating site. They went on a date on the 10th, the night before. Charles discusses his fear with her for his safety and said he changed his life insurance beneficiary to his sister, Kay Woodcock. And Nancy Joe urged him to tell Lori about this, giving him some advice. He said he would. And the next day, she texted Charles, but got no reply. And that's because he died. She later learned, actually, it was funny when she testified, and I'm not going to play her testimony, but at one point she testifies that, you know, when he didn't call her the next day, she thought she got ghosted. And she literally, I don't know how much, a couple weeks maybe go by, and she's like thinking, well, that didn't work out. He never called me back. She thought the date went really well. She was looking forward to hearing from him. Yeah, she was looking forward to hearing from him.
What did I say?
Right.
What did I say? Was I too forthcoming?
Yep. Was I too much? Well, she does say when she testified that she was a little concerned because, he indicated that he was like not quite officially divorced yet. And then when he started describing what was going on with Lori, she was like, well, you know, I do like you and I'm interested in you, but you need to be further along in this process with Lori for me to take it seriously or to consider dating you again. But she did like him a lot. And then next day he died. Was like, and then,
so she's probably like, oh God, I probably gave him the wrong signal.
I know. I mean, is that bad to laugh at that? Is that really bad to laugh? It might be.
No.
Anyway, a couple weeks go by. And then she's sitting in her living room and his face comes across the TV. And that's how she found out. And she was just like blown away by it. She couldn't believe it. So anyway.
Yeah.
Lori,
I feel bad.
Lori asked her, this was like the highlight of the trial. It was so cool. And I should have put the clip up, but I didn't. But anyway, during her cross-examination, Lori asked her was your entire date about sitting there and talking about me? And she snaps at her. And she was such an iconic witness. I loved her. And she goes, don't flatter yourself. No, we did not spend the whole time talking about you. It was great. And like, I remember audibly being like, oh, snap. I was like, this girl, I love her. She's great. Anyway, so she's now Don't Flatter Yourself, Nancy Joe. And Nancy Joe made it into my Lori Vallow Daybell song. So definitely take a listen to it after this. Anyway.
Okay.
All right. So her
Don't
former.
flatter yourself. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say don't flatter yourself, but Nancy Joe is mentioned in the song.
Yeah,
okay.
right.
So, and by the way, guys, hit the sub button while you're at it. Give us a like. Okay. So April Raymond is Lori's former best friend. That was an interesting one. She met Lori in Hawaii, described her as a close friend before Lori's radical shift. And she testified that Lori claimed she was chosen to help lead during the second coming of Christ. And let me just take this off of here. I'm going to put it back on the zombie woman. All right. So she also had told her best friend, April, that her children were obstacles in all of this. So she testified to that. Lori said that Charles was possessed by a dark spirit named Ned Schneider. Okay. Lori described JJ and Tylee as having dark spirits and said they might not live long.
She
Pretty
said this
damning.
to April?
This is all in her testimony. I'm telling you what April's testimony was last week. So she said that, she said Lori told her that JJ and Tylee have dark spirits and they might not live long.
Right. Did she tell anybody? Did April say this to anybody?
I don't know about that. I don't know. She's come forward now.
Red flag all over it.
So April said Lori once stated, sometimes children are full of light and then they go dark. And when April expressed concern about this, Lori grew very distant and then cut her off. And let me move on to Serena Sharp. She's a former church friend. She testified as well. She met Lori at a religious event in late 2018. Lori told her that Charlie was a zombie, and she had been told by God to rid the earth of evil spirits. And Serena testified that Lori began talking frequently about casting out demons and people being possessed. When Serena became uncomfortable and questioned Lori's beliefs, she then was excluded from further conversations, and Lori stopped talking to her. Then, April 14th, that is day 5 of the testimony. Dr. Derek Bumgarner detailed that Charles Vallow's autopsy, gunshot wounds to the chest and back suggested the shooter was 2 to 4 feet away. Life insurance details, such as Charles had changed his life insurance beneficiary from Lori to Kay, his sister. And then Lori's defense had issues accessing cell phone extraction data provided by the prosecution. And then on April 15th, there was surveillance footage. Lori was seen on video at a drugstore purchasing flip-flops and then going through a fast food drive-thru with Tylee and JJ. Shortly after Charles' death. She never called 911, and that was what it was to prove. Because once Charles was shot by Alex, she was kind of hearing the shot as she was going out the door. See, she was there. Charles came to the house to pick up JJ to bring him to school. He was excited about this. He talked about it in advance. And it's assumed, and I truly believe, it was pre-planned. It was like it was a setup. Alex came over. He was there ready with a gun. And she was there, and they got into an argument, at which time she said...
Who got into an argument? Her and Alex, or her and
Lori and Charles got into an argument while he was at the door to collect JJ. And she took his phone from him or something, and he kept saying, give me my phone back, give me my phone back. And she was like, no, I'm not giving you your phone back. Anyway, at some point, she hears her brother Alex come out, and then she hears a shot, she says, but she didn't see what happened. And she bolts out the door, gets in the car with Tylee and JJ and leaves. You don't call 911. Okay. That's got to stop. How can I make that stop? Apologize. Let me move this. Can you see that?
We can. Yeah, we can.
See it. Oh, great. All right. Just ignore the dings. Okay. Anyway, so she bolts out the door. And then, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked, guys. She bolts out
the door and she doesn't call 911. What's her claim that she didn't call 911?
Well, she doesn't have a claim to it. We don't have a claim, but the prosecution is saying, hold on one second.
I mean, is she claiming that she never heard it? She didn't hear the gunshot? Or she's saying she did? And what's she saying afterwards? That's crazy. She should just deny it, really.
Sorry about that. Okay. Just wanted to check on my daughter. Of course, she's not going to call 911 because she wanted more time for him to die. She was giving Alex a heads up. You know what I mean? Giving him a head start. The prosecution is saying she did not call. And here's the other thing. Alex didn't call until 45 minutes. And it's so super damning. I mean, right there, that is a huge part of the case for me. Like the fact that they didn't even call, along with so many other incredibly bizarre things.
I believe Alex, or Lori said that Alex said that he was just in shock mode or something. And that's the reason why he didn't call. Right.
Of course she's going to say that. And then he winds up dead later too. And that's either just a big old coinkydink or there is some foul play in that, but that was never able to be proven that Alex was killed. But her and Chad had reason to want to get rid of Alex because all Alex had to do was to talk, to get off from what he did. So anyway.
But it's your own brother. Jesus.
I know. So she goes through the fast food drive-through. All that video footage is shown to the court to show her behavior and that you knew somebody shot, had a gun and shot Charles, your brother, and then you leave and you go through a drive-through and then go buy some flip-flops. I mean, what's wrong with you? Right? That doesn't look very good.
That means she would have to claim and say that she heard the gunshot then.
She does.
Yeah.
She is saying that. So now her flip-flops and fast... we haven't gotten to that.
Sense.
Well, we're not at that point in the trial yet because a defense case hasn't happened yet. But she's just trying, she's not, all the Lori Vallow haters, I'm just going to say, she's stupid for defending herself, but she's also not really the most stupidest person either. I mean, if you've heard her talk,
Not the most stupidest.
she's stupid to do it, and she has said and asked stupid things, but she also
Yes.
is not intelligent. She has some intelligence. You
Right.
can hear it. You can hear she's
Yes.
educated.
Right.
It's like-
Actually, I listened to this podcast called Lawyer That You Know, and he actually said, he obviously he doesn't agree with representing yourself, but he actually said that she's probably one of the best self-representatives so far that he's seen. So
I agree.
I do agree with what you're saying. Yeah.
I agree. I still think it's stupid, but she is like, probably has the best advantage of anybody. I mean, even over Ted Bundy. I mean, he even studied. I think he went to law school too. Ted Bundy.
Did he really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so. If I'm not mistaken, any Ted Bundy people out there, let me know if he went to law school. I'm pretty sure he did. So at one point there was like a height. So you've got the footage being played, right? And that she never called 911. And then Detective Ariel Werther testified that Lori's device left the scene well before the 911 call was made. And then there was a courtroom exchange during cross-examination where Lori asked Werther about Charles' dating life, and the judge interrupted. And I remember that was heated because she kept going and like trying to ask about his personal life, which is totally irrelevant to what was going on. Because because that's where she is stupid.
I wonder what her angle is. I wonder what she was trying to do.
Well, she doesn't have much of a case to begin with. She really doesn't. So she's got to like try to sound smart, right? And try to ask questions that sound legit. And they come across legit, but they're just totally stupid and irrelevant. The judge goes, whether he went on dates and had dates scheduled is not relevant to this case. Please ask another question. Anyway, on the 16th, day 7, that's today, because I'm losing track of what today is because my life is so crazy. 18 witnesses have been called as of up till today. The state is now close to resting its case. Detective Werther continued testimony about GPS data and the post-shooting timeline as well. So that's where we're at with Lori Vallow. Dumbbell.
Okay.
I call her Dumbbell now. Oh, Dumbbell's on the TV now. Hit the sub button, like, and share our page with us. We would appreciate it. Yes. Okay.
Well, I can't wait till she starts her defense.
I think it's going to be a joke. Honestly, I looked it up. I tried to see like who else she's got planned in the testimony.
Right. I was going to ask you, do you know who's on the list for the?
Somebody said that she could call her brother. I mean, her son, her son, Colby.
Oldest.
But he hates her.
Yeah.
He can't stand her.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, he's sitting in the courtroom during her trial on the other side. Like
On
he's
the
not supporting her.
prosecutor's side, yeah. Well, I mean, listen, if you get served, you got to come. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if he hates her or not.
I think she's gonna sink her ship if she does that one. Right? Okay, on to the next. Okay. Our next case I'm so excited about, and it's short. It's gonna be short and sweet. The Menendez brothers.
I love them.
I love them too. A lot of people don't, but a lot of people do. That is a sketch from them in court the other day through Zoom. So they weren't in person. Right. But that is a sketch of them. That's the best I could do. But I did put a young picture up of them. So
I know, but
everybody
they're
can be
twisted.
reminded.
It's the other way around. Just
so
you know.
Who cares?
I'm just saying. So people, if you're looking at it, it's twisted.
You're right. Okay. So in the sketch, we've got Lyle on the right and Eric is on the left. And then in the little picture on the bottom, Lynn wants everybody to know that it's reverse. That you've got Lyle on the left. And I keep wanting to say Kyle. Eric on the right. Okay. They had a huge win. A huge win.
They did? Yes.
Well, we're not there yet, but they had a hearing the other day. And let me go through it, okay? So the resentencing hearing was scheduled. So the Menendez brothers are expected to have a resentencing hearing Thursday morning. That's tomorrow. In a Van Nuys courtroom. After a judge just ruled, they can now move forward. See, the prosecution came forward and said, we don't even think they should get a resentencing hearing. And they petitioned to try to have the judge shut it down. And they ruled in the Menendez brothers' favor. So Judge Michael Jessic ruled in favor of Eric and Lyle Menendez after a 6-hour hearing. Now, the family is outraged over what happened in the courtroom that day because family members criticized prosecutors for pulling out and showing the graphic photos of the 1989 murders of Kitty and Jose. The images reportedly caused their elderly aunt, which is Jose's sister, Terry, who has cancer. She literally collapsed. She was found unresponsive in her hotel and rushed to the hospital. Quote, Terry, who is battling cancer, came to court to support her family. No physical pain has ever kept her from being there for her nephews. But the display put on for the DA's office pushed her past the brink. By early this morning, she was rushed to the hospital and remains in critical condition. So she is still there in critical condition. Attorney Brian Friedman said that prosecutors violated the Marsy's law. Quote, the display was re-traumatizing, completely avoidable, and they believe it was intentional. Of course it was intentional, right?
Yeah,
DA's office later apologized for showing the crime scene photos without a prior warning. Political comparisons are sparking backlash, like District Attorney Nathan Hochman. He compared the Menendez case to Sirhan RFK's assassin, drawing criticism about and using it as a comparison. He claimed that neither Sirhan nor the Menendez brothers ever took full responsibility. Hochman says Eric and Lyle should remain in prison for the shotgun murders of their parents and stay there. And witness update also on the Menudo singer Roy Rosello, who has accused Jose Menendez of sexual abuse, said he wants to reconnect with the Menendez brothers, but was advised not to be around for these hearings right now due to his possible testimony that would be needed in the future. So that's why he wasn't there. And that was in the news. Okay, so the family statement, there's a big family statement. I think I should read it. So it's not that long. Okay, so the Menendez's family statement after this win was, quote, District Attorney Hochman made it clear today he is holding Eric, Lyle, and our family hostage. He appears fixated on their trauma-driven response to the killings in 1989. Let's be clear, Eric and Lyle are not the same young boys that they were more than 30 years ago. They have apologized and demonstrated their atonement through actions that have helped improve countless lives. D.A. Hochman broke his promise to listen to us. He sent a message to every young boy who's the victim of abuse that they should not come forward. We remain hopeful the judges, the Board of Parole, and Governor Newsom will transcend the political games. We pray they understand the full scope of trauma Eric, Lyle, and our entire family continues to experience. So that is it. But it's tomorrow morning, Jocelyn. They could go free tomorrow.
I'm wondering if the prosecution is just still trying to prosecute just because they're prosecutors. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if they really feel that way.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing.
Just backing up their department, you know?
At first I was like, well, what is he talking about? Because they are very remorseful. They know what they did. It's not like they're denying it. And then I looked into it further, and this is what the DA is really mad about. The DA thinks that they need to also admit that they lied about abuse. And why would they? I mean, they're saying, look, go ahead and tell us that you lied, you made the whole story up, and that you killed your parents for money. And then we might let you out. Well, they're not going to do that because they were abused and there's so much evidence of it. So much evidence of it. And it's not just from them. It's not just from witnesses that saw cousins, aunts, uncles, people that saw these boys being abused, but also people that are outside of the Menendez family, like the Menudo kids and this other guy that was in business with Jose Menendez when they put together the Menudo band. He was also abusing the Menudo kids, you know? Right. And then
it's what they're saying is that it's just plausible that he was a rapist, that the father was a rapist. So yeah, I don't think they should, even though it would lead to freedom, I still think they should stay by their story and keep on fighting for their freedom the honest way.
Yeah.
But so tomorrow they can have an actual judgment call that they are free to go.
It's possible. There's a resentencing hearing is tomorrow morning. The judge is going to decide. So.
My God, that's so nerve-wracking.
It is nerve-wracking. I mean, maybe we could hop on. We are hopping on tomorrow. Oh no, we're on Friday. No, maybe I'll hop on during the afternoon if it happens, and I'll just if I hop on in the afternoon, it's for 2 minutes to go. I'll just be screaming. I hope I didn't blow anybody's eardrums out. Anyway.
Oh my God, I'm going to be working on a patient, and I'm going to have my earbuds in, and then they're gonna say you're free to go, and I'm gonna be like, yes.
Yeah.
The
I
doctor's
mean,
gonna run in and
it's
be like,
probably
"What's
a
wrong
long
with you?"
shot that they would actually go home
Yeah.
tomorrow, but it's okay to dream.
Well, it's not. I doubt they're gonna go home the same day. Would they actually go home the same day? I
No,
guess
they
so. I
wouldn't.
mean, if you're
No.
yeah,
No,
okay.
there's paperwork and there's
Right.
stuff they'd have to do.
Right.
But they might actually be granted, like, you're free to go, and then there's like a process after that. But I
Right.
think it's just, I mean, I honestly, it feels too good to be true. And I feel like there's always something in the way of this. And then, like, we waited this long and
Right. I almost feel like if it goes negatively, it's like, then what? Like, then
Yeah.
back to square one again. I mean, there's new evidence.
And you know what Eric and Lyle said just recently?
What?
They said, we're not done
Okay.
with the prison system, whether we get out or not. We're going to continue to help these prisoners. And we're going to,
course.
like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. It
mean-
probably makes them feel good to help, because you got to remember the world. I don't know if the world, but the United States did not believe them, or most people did not believe them. So now they're finding connection with other people that were in their situation, and they look up to them. So that probably makes them feel good, which makes them keep on contributing to their services.
Yeah.
I'm sure
they have
seen
done a
help,
lot
yeah.
of good for people
Yeah.
in the prison system. Encouraging education, encouraging reformation, all that. Okay, so
Well,
our next
knowledge.
case. Yeah, knowledge,
Yeah.
right. Okay, so our next case is a crazy one, and it's brand new, and it's in the news right now. Okay, Kimberly Sullivan. Have you heard about this lady?
Let me see a picture. Yes.
Okay, this is a big one. And it is like insanity. Okay. Kimberly Sullivan, 56 years old, from Waterbury, Connecticut. She allegedly held her stepson captive for over 20 years. He is now
happen?
He is 32 years old now. He escaped in February 2025 by setting a fire to get help. He was found weighing 68 pounds with muscle atrophy and decayed teeth. Okay?
Oh,
She is being
that's how.
charged with second-degree kidnapping, first-degree assault, unlawful restraint, cruelty to persons, reckless endangerment, and she has pleaded not guilty. Her next court date is April 22nd, 2025. That is next week. So, the victim's statement. We don't have a picture of him, and he goes by the letter S. And I don't blame him. I would want to be anonymous too. I mean, really.
68 pounds?
68 pounds.
That's like the weight of your bones.
32
and
years old.
organs.
Victim statement and recovery. Here we go. Quote, I am a survivor of more than 20 years of captivity and domestic abuse. I am speaking out today to begin the process of reclaiming my life and to have my say in how my story is told. He has chosen a new name and received support from trauma organizations. They even threw him his first ever birthday party. Conditions of his captivity were locked in a room with an exterior slide lock. I'm going to show you pictures in a minute. Minimal food and water, no toilet, only makeshift disposal, no medical or dental care at all.
Wow.
All
He
the
lived
physical
that long, too.
all the physical evidence backed up his claims. So this woman is in some serious trouble. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
this
not
is her.
guilty? Really? Yeah.
All right. So
flabbergasted.
this is okay. And did I not verify this? Did I not say this to you before? Yeah, I did
What?
tell you. It's her stepson. She's a stepmother.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
So his dad died, is not alive, in case you were wondering. And his mother didn't want anything to do with him at a very young age and just handed him over to the dad. And then the dad married this witch. And then,
Yeah.
here we are. But when he died, that's why everybody's like, well, where's his dad at? Well, there is no dad
Right.
anymore. So she was in complete, Okay, so here's the house. Okay.
Okay. Connecticut, huh?
Obviously
All right.
in a state of ruins. You can see it. Okay.
Right.
This is one of the rooms in the house.
That's where the fire is.
That's where the
Tell us
fire was, right? Yep.
Yeah.
And then we've got, gross. Grossy.
Makeshift toilet. He was an accident.
Well, he said he had no access to a toilet, but I think what he means by that is it's not working. It's not flushing. So it might as well just be a bowl in the floor, right? Kind of no different. So, yeah. Okay. That's probably more like from the fire. You can see that. Okay. All right. This is the room that he was in.
Wow.
I mean, filth. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Right? Clearly from the fire. Okay.
Yeah.
The steps
That's
going
a lot
up.
of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How did he get out? 68.
He started the fire.
I know, but how did he get movement out of his body? Because
there's no way
I'm amazed.
He set the fire so that the smoke in the fire would bring fire trucks there, and then that's how they found him.
Oh,
they found him that way because it was during rescue, I think.
Oh, okay.
How would he be able to leave? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like 68 pounds, and that's huge muscle deficiency and atrophy, right? I mean,
so bad,
hot mess. How do you even get through that stuff?
Can't even walk. Okay, that's Harvey. All right, so so I'm like pretty disgusted with this lady. Like I can't imagine what her defense is going to be, like you said. But I mean, we're going to keep an eye on this case because this poor guy, and he finally had his first birthday party.
Oh, I know, sweet.
He was really like, sweet. You know,
so he was like 14 then, right? 14, 12 when he got abducted, more or less.
20 years ago.
What is it?
12.
Yeah.
12 years old. Yeah. So I think maybe that was when his dad died. Well, we're going to find out more information, and then we'll do definitely another episode on it. But once I find out some more, this just came out. I'm
sure it was about money. It's always about money.
Yeah.
She probably was getting money from the father, the deceased father, from some fund. And as long as she kept ownership of him, and that's what she did.
Yeah. Okay. How about this guy?
Interesting.
You ready?
Yeah.
How about this guy? Right, you know who's next, right? Because you kind of
I know. You showed it already.
Harvey Weinstein, Weinstein, whatever. Like this creep.
Yeah.
He makes me ill. What he did.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's back in the news
for decades.
Disgusting what he did. Okay, so as you know, he is up for a retrial. They had dismissed it because there was a bunch of women that were deemed it wasn't the right thing to do to have these women testify at that last trial. And then the trial gets completely, thrown out because they put a bunch of women in there that they said wasn't relevant to the case. So right. So anyway, jury selection was on April 15th. He's charged with rape and criminal sexual acts involving Jessica Mann, Mimi Hallie, and there's a Jane Doe. Okay. I have some more details on it, but judge is Curtis Farber. It's expected to last about 6 weeks. So he was convicted.
New York, right? Or is
yes,
it California?
It's in New York.
New York.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay.
He was convicted in 2020, but overturned in April 2024 due to the improper witness inclusion. He was also convicted in Los Angeles in 2022. Everybody else knows about that, and sentenced to 16 years, which he is now appealing. I don't know why he thinks he would win an appeal.
Well, they always try.
They had a lot of issues when they were choosing the jury for this retrial. There were potential jurors that were dismissed due to bias and personal experiences. So is he that much of a predator that there were some jurors that had a personal experience with him? I mean,
no.
Who did he not rape?
Their own. No, personal experience of their own.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
You're right.
Like
Thank
they
you
might
for
have
pointing
had, another Harvey in their life.
Right. So in the initial days, they had no jurors for like a couple days because they were just hitting brick walls. So it's important to note, and you can visually see it, right? His health is really terrible. He's 73. He had emergency heart surgery and is battling a form of bone marrow cancer. He claims Rikers Island isn't providing adequate care for him. He maintains his innocence, and before this retrial, he states, "Tomorrow, I walk into court a free man in New York, and I expect to walk out the same." Okay. I don't think so, buddy. So anyway.
Well, it did get overturned, so.
It did. Now, Jessica Mann, she, that's Jessica Mann. She actually testified in that other trial that got thrown out. So this poor girl is being like thrown, pulled through the ringer. Like she has to come back and do it again. She helped convict him of third-degree rape. Mimi Halei's account secured the criminal sexual act count. And then on April 25th, 2024, they rule it's unfair. The judge let additional women whose allegations weren't charged to testify, violating the state's Molyneux rule on prior bad acts evidence. The panel ordered the full retrial at that point. Now, Jessica Mann, I just want to talk about her a little bit. I wanted to do little tiny deep dives into these girls in case you guys didn't know. She was an aspiring actress who first met Harvey Weinstein in 2012. She told jurors on March 18, 2013, that he arrived uninvited at the Doubletree Hotel on Lexington Avenue, where she was staying with friends. He checked himself into a room and summoned her from the lobby, berated her like a drill sergeant, and then raped her in the newly booked suite despite her protests. She described feeling trapped in what she called a degrading 5-year relationship marked by alternating charm and intimidation. And she gave graphic testimony about Weinstein's deformed, almost, quote, intersex genitalia. Details prosecutors highlighted to corroborate her account during his 2020 New York trial and again in 2025 retrial. So they made sure that they took pictures of his genitalia. They like to force him to take pictures of it so that it would prove her description of his private area.
Was he have a bent? You know what?
Well, I actually looked up some more information about that. So I'm going to get to that. Okay. So I just wanted to give you a little detail about her. And then Mimi, Mimi Halei. She was a former production assistant on Project Runway. She testified on July 10, 2006, that he invited her to his Soho loft under the guise of a career meeting, pinned her onto the bed, removed her tampon, and forced oral sex on her while she kicked, pushed, and repeatedly said no.
Force oral sex on her when she was going through her monthly?
Yeah, let's just leave it at that. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
She confided in her roommate the same summer, and her allegation became the centerpiece of the criminal sexual act charge that helped convict him in 2020. She remains a key witness as prosecutors pursue the same count in the retrial, even as she publicly weighs the emotional toll of taking that stand again. So we've got multiple accusers, which include Jessica Mann, but Lauren Young and others. They testify that Harvey Weinstein's genitals are visibly deformed. They all testified to this. And because they had the pictures that they forced him to take, they were able to show in the last trial, look, the women are describing his genitalia pretty well. He appears to have a deformity. He appears to have no testicles, prominent scarring, and an intersex-like configuration that resembles a woman's vagina. Doctors and former employees have said that the abnormality likely stems from Fournier's gangrene, a life-threatening genital infection that he reportedly contracted in 1999 that destroys tissue and sometimes requires removal of the testicles, which is probably what happened. He also used injectable erectile dysfunction drugs such as Caverject to obtain an erection. Prosecutors introduced nude photographs of the disfigurement at trial to corroborate the women's accounts. Okay. Sorry, that's a smoking gun for me.
Yeah.
Now, but of course he's going to come back and say it was all consensual, which then if it was consensual, they would see his genitalia anyway. But I think you're going to look at woman after woman after woman and how beautiful these women are. And each one that gets on the stand.
They look alike, actually. They look kind of similar to each other. He has
a little bit,
that he likes. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so, quote, she told jurors the first time Weinstein undressed, she thought He was deformed and intersexed with severe scarring. And then Lauren Young, she drew a diagram for police and testified that his scrotum looked as if the testicles had been removed and sewn back on wrong.
That's interesting. Sewn back on wrong.
Ooh, all you men out there, I'm so sorry. If any man's watching right now. Okay, so investigative reporting and former staffers revealed that Weinstein was airlifted from St. Barthélemy in late 1999 with the gangrene and aggressive bacterial infection of the entire groinal area. Whew. Surviving cases often... Ouch, can you... no wonder why the guy was depressed and thought he couldn't get a woman. How did his wife... He was married, you know.
No, I totally forgot about that.
He was married to a beautiful woman and was doing all this with... Yes. So she had to know. He was married at the time that he was arrested, and then she quickly filed for divorce.
Oh, so they're not married anymore.
No. Oh, no. As soon as the Me Too thing happened and he was all over the news.
Right.
She immediately filed for divorce. She filed. Let me find you a picture of her.
Yeah, I would love to see a picture of her.
Yeah.
So what, is she an actress too?
I want to say she was a model or a fashion designer of some sort. Okay, hold on. Yeah, but I mean...
Interesting. Well, I mean, it seems like a lot of times...
Everybody said that they were together because he had money. But then, you know, I mean, really, look... I'm sorry, is it because of what he did that I find him so unattractive? I mean...
He also had a lot of power. That's attractive for some people.
Okay, I'm going to show you this picture. Hold on. You're going to be like, what? What? Ready?
Okay. I'm sure she's going to be beautiful now that you said, oh, yeah. Yeah,
I should not be laughing, but I'm so sorry. It's so obvious it was for the money.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's a little bit of everything. The power, the money, the power, he was very prestigious in Hollywood, like he was Harvey Weinstein, like he was the GOAT, but I divorced him too, especially after the Me Too movement. She probably wanted nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I know I wouldn't. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just not that kind of person. So I would never marry anybody just because of their money. I mean,
right. And honestly, she was probably happy to do it. Maybe he was a jerk too at the same time.
Yeah.
But usually people in power.
But she was with him right up until the end and was shocked. I mean, she was embarrassed and shocked by the whole thing,
Well, most people doesn't know that their spouse is doing that. Look at Bill Crosby. Nobody knew he did that. Oh, no. Sorry. Bill Cosby. True. Yeah.
You're like Crosby. Crosby, Stills and Nash. That's a band. Yeah. No. I just think you get things confused. Sometimes like, I don't know. I remember my sister, remember those Oreo cookies back in the day? They were called Hydrox.
Though that's just the no-name brand.
Yeah, there was a no-name brand called, they were like Oreos, but they were called Hydrox. Do you remember that back in the 80s?
Yeah.
My sister Suzanne, when I used to eat those, she'd go, hey, give me one of those hydroplanes. Hydroplane, it's Hydrox. Yeah. Anyway.
So I guess you didn't have Oreos in your house.
No, we had Hydrox. We had the chipper chicken in our house.
Chicken.
So anyway, that's our show tonight.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of ground covered, right?
Yay.
Yes.
Don't forget to like and give us thumbs ups.
Yes, don't forget, subscribe, like, and share our page. I am like it's going to be an exciting couple months. I'm just waiting for the next news on Donald Adelson, Wendy, or Charlie, any one of them. I'm just waiting. There's nothing right now. Just a lot of like, arguments between people that either like Wendy or don't like Wendy. We have somebody that follows our stuff, and I let him have a platform because I think everybody has a right to have their opinion.
Right.
And he keeps saying, oh, I knew right away in the beginning of the interrogation that she was innocent. And I think you probably do agree with him because you seem to be a Wendy fan. Mm-hmm. But, I was like, give me your points. Where are you getting this? Like, he goes, I have this undiscoverable evidence, or that I've proven that she's innocent. Well, give it to me then, and I'll talk about it on the show. If it's legit, I'll talk about it. But yeah,
there's no evidence that says that she's guilty. Let's put it that way.
To me, there is.
No.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Hey, listen, the fact is, if she did have evidence that she was guilty, she would be behind jail or behind the bars already. Okay. She would be.
Do you believe, forget the Adelsons for a second. Do you believe that there are cases out there where people have been found guilty for an overwhelming amount of circumstantial evidence?
Yeah, like look at what's his face, Lacey's husband. Totally circumstantial. There's no true evidence that links him.
Yeah, but he didn't get a fair trial. I think he's guilty, but he didn't get a fair trial. But that's not what I'm asking. Do you believe that circumstantial evidence can be enough to convict somebody?
Nowadays, no.
Okay. I disagree with that. I think circumstantial evidence you need to handle with care. You need to be very careful. You can't just go convicting anybody. But there is some evidence that is so overwhelming. It's circumstantial, but it's overwhelming. And to me, in this case, Wendy Adelson is going down. I really believe that. I really do. Right. I knew, I was talking to somebody and they're like, I knew, in the first couple of minutes of her interrogation. Well, I knew in the first couple of minutes of her interrogation that she was guilty. So it's amazing how, people perceive things.
Well, that's how you perceive it. That she's guilty.
That's how I perceive it. And you know what? A lot of people agree with me.
It doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of people who agree with me. But the fact is that I don't think anybody should be convicted on circumstantial evidence, because that's not. I can understand adding it to actual concrete evidence, but
I'll always take concrete evidence over circumstantial. I'm not stupid,
right? But I would never guilt somebody or find them guilty on just because it looks like the piece fits, but we don't know if at any particular point or any plane it actually fits. Like there actually has to be more fitted pieces than not, and it can't just be.
We should do an episode on top 5 trials that were determined based on circumstantial evidence only, and look at them.
Totally lazy.
There's a lot.
I mean,
right. Yeah. But it's not just that. Donna Adelson is Lynn. If you had to pick one person, Donna or Wendy, to be guilty, which one would you lean towards is probably the one that's more likelier to be guilty?
Donna.
Okay. Thank you. But I still think Wendy's guilty. But listen, I pray every day that, and I do, I pray about this, that when the trial does happen, Donna's trial, that the truth will come out and answer that debate for us. Let's get some hard evidence. I'll take that any day over circumstantial evidence. I pray that something is going to come to light and it's going to show us what really happened and who's really behind it. And am I correct in my? It's not just a hunch, but I have a hunch. But I also have things that I saw, things she said, things she's done, and we've got witnesses that are going to be coming out that have never testified before. That is actually her former friend, Sarah or whatever her name is. And then the brother's coming forward too. So, Robert, I can't wait to see what he has to say.
Yeah. And just like I said before, as of now, with all the evidence they have on Wendy, I definitely don't think that I would find her guilty on what they have. Now, if new stuff surfaces and it's not just hearsay, then then
I think they have enough.
Let's reevaluate.
I think they have enough, and they need to go for it now because it's been 10 years now? 11 years? It's 10 years.
And they would need a lot more on Donna to convict her too. Yeah. It have to be more than hearsay as well. There has to be a more connection. Like with Charlie, there was a connection. You know what I mean? Donna, it's a lot of hearsay. So let's see what they have. I'm definitely excited to see. When does that trial start anyway?
June.
June, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All
But
right.
I'm excited for tomorrow.
Yes. Wait, tomorrow. Oh, Menendez Brothers is tomorrow. So
Yeah.
we'll be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop on here tomorrow in the afternoon. Once I hear
Okay.
what the thing is, what the outcome is gonna be. Maybe I won't if they're like sent back to their cell. I'll just be like, well, Carolyn didn't come on, so that must mean that they didn't have a good outcome.
They
but-
didn't get in. It's
Yeah.
gonna be like, they didn't get in.
We're gonna do Courtney Clenny soon. We're gonna do the West
Okay.
Memphis 3 soon. The West Memphis 3 has to be a deep dive. That is
A good one.
one of the most incredible crimes stories I've ever heard in my life. And it's a big one that I've followed since I was very young. Like in my 20s, I was following that case. So we're going to be doing that one soon too. And we're going to continue on with, I think we're going to hop back on with Jody on Friday, unless something big happens.
Okay. All right.
So
Sounds good.
So
All right.
yeah, thanks for joining us tonight. Do the hearts with us, y'all. It's going to become our thing.
Yes, that's just
Where? Oh, okay, it's over here. All right.
Yeah, subscribe.
Yep.
Like.
We love you guys. Thanks for watching us tonight.
Yes.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the hosts and guests. All individuals mentioned are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.